Hi, my name is Kojin and I am from Group A. So let's start with the introduction. The main idea of Dukun is about the lure of wealth, power, everlasting youth, beauty, and the blood one must shed to gain this. This film is in light of the actual murder, Mona Fente, in 1993 in Malaysia. Dukun focuses on a conflicted lawyer, Karim, who is finding for his lost child Nadia. His desperation leads him to be entangled with an alleged murderer Diana Dallin. According to my own statement, I believe that Dukun can be viewed in a few perspectives. Dukun is a horror movie with a narrative that is sensational. It's about covetousness and a battle for dominance. It is also a description of Muslim belief in the dark arts, and Dukun is a movie that mixed with courtroom drama. So, about the summary, Karim worked as a public defender in KL. He is a single father whose his wife disappeared several years ago. Recently, his daughter, Nadia, also ran away from home. So Karim confronts his former friend, who is working for government, to inform him immediately if the authorities found Nadia. In return for the help, he agrees to help defend Diana Dallin, a shaman woman who is charged with murdering a prominent businessman. During the first meeting, Diana surprisingly reveals Karim's past. Shah and Talib, the officer investigating Diana's case, assumes Daud was killed by Diana, so he begins to realize that Daud's death was a sign. After investigating all of Diana's former houses, Talib and Shah surprisingly find dead bodies in all those houses. Nadia was later found by authorities and sent into the women's federal jail. It is revealed that Karim's spouse asked Diana for help before Nadia's conception. In return, Karim's wife was expected to sacrifice her second fetus, but she refused, and her womb is forcibly removed by Diana and she dies. In court, the fact that Diana did not plan to kill Jeffrey is revealed. Karim accused that Diana should only be charged with manslaughter, since her actions were not planned. However, the court found her guilty and sentenced her to death by hanging. Surprisingly, Diana do not want to appeal the sentence. After the verdict, Talib told Karim that the mummified woman's body discovered at Diana's old house belongs to his wife. Once Diana died after the sentence, her spirit inhabits Nadia, and Nadia becomes a new shaman.
Four things which I like about this movie. Firstly, the main character. The main character in this movie is Diana Dalan, the Dukun. The image she portrays is in contrary with the stereotypical image of a Dukun. Instead of being the old and wrinkled witch doctor which everyone has in their mind, the Dukun in this movie is portrayed as a beautiful, seducing, and confident woman who knows what she wants. Her ability to reverse the usual stereotype of the character she played is one of the things which I like about the movie. Secondly, I like the timeless setting adopted. I truly enjoy all the flashbacks implemented in this movie as they were seamless. Thirdly, I like the relevance of the movie. The relevance of the movie impresses me greatly. The movie looked as if it was made recently, as the special effects implemented in the gory scenes are really realistic. Lastly, I like the theme song. Personally, I think Brana Jiwa is hauntingly beautiful. How do I feel about this movie? As a law student, I think it is imperative for us to differ facts from fictions. It is a well-known fact that this movie was inspired by the real-life Mona Fandey case. Thus, certain individuals might be inclined to watch this movie from a scholarly perspective. In my opinion, people should just view this movie with an open mind and regard it as a source of entertainment, instead of judging it from the perspective of a law student or a legal practitioner. For obvious reasons, it is impossible for the director of the movie to direct the movie in accordance to the actual facts of the case. Regarding the slight variations made, it should be emphasized that certain prominent points of the case can be observed in Dukun. For example, the gruesome manner in which Dato Jeffrey was murdered and the specific particulars regarding the dismemberment of his body parts were portrayed in the movie. The facts were however slightly varied for the movie. For instance, Diana's henchman in the movie, Fazli, was inspired by a man named Juraimi, who happens to be the henchman of Mona Fandey in the actual case. Another variation will be the absence of the character of the husband in the movie. Lastly, in Dukun, Dato' Jeffrey was presented as a businessman instead of a politician. Thank you.
I bid my greetings to Dr. Ida. I am Hoyue and I will be presenting on 2 points, which firstly is the analysis of the procedure in the movie, and secondly, I shall proceed with my opinion or any flaws that is produced in the movie. So without further ado, let us move to the analysis of the procedure. So in this movie, there is a very perfect replication of the application of Section 107 of the CPC. The first information report was produced as to show that there is complainant lodging a complaint for the police to proceed with the investigation. And also can see that there is a warrant produced in order to procure the search. And furthermore, statement was recorded under Section 113 of the CPC. The caution statement was given to the accused, although it is no longer a requirement under the law. But nevertheless, at that moment or at that time, it is required because it was before the amendment being procured. And also, it is right that under Section 178 of the CPC, the accused, when he or she appears before the High Court, the court must explain the charge that is being applied to the accused to allow he or she to know the ingredient and to know what he or she is going to face in the trial so that he or she can defend herself. So particularly in this case, Mona was being explained on the charge that she has committed murder. So it leaves spaces for she to defend herself. And moving on to the opinion and procedures. And of course, under Article 5, Clause 3 of the Federal Constitution, it provides the rights for a person that is arrested to be consulted with a legal practitioner. It is commendable because the movie has shown and appreciate this right and allow Mona to be consulted with a legal practitioner. And also, there are flaws as well regarding to this. See, under Section 117 of the CPC, the remand order and extension of remand order was not replicated in the movie, which leave many of the audience in question or in uncertain. And lastly, normally the Barang case will be shown to the accused at the start of the trial to allow the accused to know what was incriminating against her and allow her to defend her against this evidence. However, this process was skipped in the movie.
My name is Heng Ek Zi with metric number 254807. So now I will present about the suggestion from us for this movie. And first and foremost, as this movie is narrated from the real story of the Mona Fandey, the murderer, so actually there should be inserted a scene of filing of the first information report, or we known as FIR. Why? Because the FIR is actually the very first step for the criminal proceeding to be initiated in this real case. And for me, just my suggestion, I think that it's a duty and also the obligation of the public in order to report to the state whether there's a commission or a suspicion of the commission of crime. And the FIR is actually serving as a complaint to the police, and for me it's very important or vital to be inserted into this movie to make a better understanding of the audience. And next, for the investigation process, actually it can be presented in a step-by-step way, as I noticed that most of the investigation scene is using the flashback technique by the director. So actually the audience will quite blur or vague regarding to the investigation process that conducted by the police officer. And then the showing of the case item to the accused in the scene should be inserted as well in order to show that or to prove that the accused or the witness is able to recognize all the case item that found by the police officer. And last but not least, the judge, when delivering his judgment, it should be more precise, because as I noticed that the judge at the last of this movie, he sentenced for death penalty for the accused, and however he didn't stated any of his opinion, didn't stated the an obiter dicta or the ratio decidendi. That means that he just stated his judgment, but without stating the reasonable reason. So for the conclusion, actually this movie is quite good in reinterpreting the case of the real case of the Mona Fandey, and I think that is quite suitable to be applied in this assignment for our criminal procedure one. But I think that it still have to improve the film in terms of the shooting technique, especially the flashback technique is make the audience quite vague in order to understand the criminal procedure. And most of the criminal procedures are omitted due to the time limit that restricted in this movie also. And last, I think that the audience may benefit from this movie and can learn about the trial proceedings or to learn about the fundamental rights of an accused to be defended by a legal practitioner. Yeah. And that's all from us. Thank you.